Welcome back to a Recreational Runner. Hope you're all doing well. First of all, before I get into today's video, which is essentially a week 2 update, midweek. Well, it's not midweek at all. It's Saturday, but it's the middle of my runs. I just wanted to say a massive thank you, massive thank you and appreciation to everybody that subbed in the last week. I've flown up from 170 something. I think I was on 172 to 195, so thank you. I know a good group of that is other YouTubers that we're collabing with, so good stuff. I've subbed to loads of people as well. But yeah, and if you're commenting and liking my videos, thank you very much for that as well. But yeah, today's video we'll get into in a second. So this week, I already said it's Saturday. I'm basically only just out on my 3rd run of the week, and I'm walking at the moment, as you can see. I've got Sophia as well in the buggy. Say hello, Sophia. Everyone likes it when you're on camera. Say hello, say hiya. Sucking your thumb. She's teething, bless her. Sylvia, my partner, is studying all this weekend because she's got an exam coming up. So I will be doing lots of parroting this weekend, but that's fine. Fitting runs around family is what I'm all about, and bringing Sophia out for a buggy run is absolutely fine, especially as I'm doing the low heart rate stuff, right? So I'm walking at the moment, we're up at 120, believe it or not, but I've only just come out, so it's probably a bit high, but yeah, no, it's good. So I've done 2 runs this week. I didn't check my stats before I came out, but I think the first one was about 4 miles, maybe 4.5. The second one was 5 miles exactly. The second one had a weird, probably a watch glitch. The first half a mile, my heart rate shot up to 220 and it stayed in the 200s for a good half mile. I've got a feeling that's a watch glitch. My heart wasn't beating 220 times per minute. It's happened once or twice before, but very rarely. Someone commented on Strava that it could be electromagnetic interference from something nearby, which can happen with wrist-based heart rate monitors. So that's fine, but that put my average for that run up to 142 beats per minute, which was a little bit higher than what I'm aiming for. But I think with the 220 spike at the beginning, that's probably why. But both runs, my pace has dropped by 30 seconds already. Now, I shouldn't be comparing week on week. I've already said on this MAF training, you really don't want to compare your stats until you get to the end of a month and then do a MAF test. I haven't actually done a MAF test yet either, because I haven't read about what exactly I need to do. I've been really poor at reading the book, but I need to catch up with that, definitely. But yeah, I'm just enjoying, as I said before, doing this low heart rate stuff, and just taking my time and getting more miles in. I did 23 miles last week. I was hoping to do more this week, but I think today's probably going to be around 5 miles, hopefully. So that'll put me on 14. So yeah, actually, I could do 24 this week if I do 10 tomorrow, maybe 11 tomorrow. We'll see. So maybe I will increase my mileage this week. But if not, to be in the 20s is absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this run. So first things first, I know I always say I'll see you at the end of the run and then I think of something to tell you, so apologies about that. I was just thinking about buggy running. Now for me, doing low heart rate, it's already, what we're in, 1.6 miles in. I'm having to walk a lot more, especially when I'm on a track like this. Because clearly pushing a buggy is, you have to exert more energy, unless you're going downhill or you're on a super flat, smooth tarmac. So my heart rate's going above my threshold a lot more frequently, but that's fine because today's about fun and enjoyment with Sophia anyway. Not trying to get a particular time or anything, I'm just trying to get out really. So my advice, if you are going to run with a buggy, is I've only done this, what, 6 times in total, I think. This clearly isn't a proper buggy for running. As you can see, it's an eye candy Peach 2, I think. It's an older model we got second-hand off somebody. It does have small suspension bits on the front wheels, but not on the back. So it's not ideal. That's why I'm walking on this trail, because it's not fair on Sophia to run along here. It should be taking some knocks, right? Whereas a proper running buggy has got full suspension. And the other thing for you, for the baby, and the other thing for you personally, is a proper running buggy will have adjustable handlebars as well in terms of height. So you can fix the handlebar where you want it in terms of your height, so you can try and maintain better running posture. My running posture and form pushing this buggy is terrible. It's not good for my shoulders. One little tip I do though is try and go one-handed, like I am now obviously, and just keep swapping hands every now and then. And if you do get a nice safe flat bit, go no-handed and let the buggy roll for a bit. But it's not often that happens, to be honest. So yeah, just keep swapping your hands and try and keep that arm swing going with the hand that you're not holding on to. Oh, train. Oh, what was that, Sophia? Yes, that's the best advice I can give. I'm now seriously considering though, because I do really enjoy bringing Sophia out, and she really enjoys it as well. And the older she gets, obviously, the less chance there is of her falling asleep, which is a nightmare when they're young. If you bring them out for a long walk or a gentle run, is the motion sends them off to sleep, and it might completely ruin your routine for the day. Sylvia always told me off if I came home and she was asleep, but now she's getting older, that's fine. So yeah, I'm considering getting one. They're just quite expensive. I might look around for a second-hand one. But yeah, if you're a buggy runner or if you've got any experience, drop a comment, let us know what you think. Catch you maybe at the end. Maybe we'll have something else to talk about in a minute. See you in a bit. And of course, as soon as I mentioned children falling asleep, oh, that woke her up. Did you go to sleep? Did you go to sleep? It's the bouncing, isn't it? She was asleep, but only for a couple of minutes. I'm only 2 miles in, almost half an hour already, but I don't care. As I said, I want to do another 3 miles really though. If she sleeps for over half an hour, I will be in trouble. I've just come through the high street and it's July the 4th, isn't it? Today's the day all the barbers and hairdressers are reopened, and there are queues everywhere outside barbers of blokes with lockdown haircuts. Embrace the lockdown haircut, I say. I'm in no rush. Although I have booked an appointment with my favourite barber. He's doing appointments and I've got mine in another 6 days, 10th of July. Avoid the rush, avoid queuing up. Like, it's crazy. But each to their own. Get your haircut. Lovely. So I'm done. Run number, I don't know what it is, 7 is it? Maybe 8, I don't know. 7. Third run this week, and we did just over 5 miles. It was a much slower pace, near a 12-minute mile again, but an average heart rate of 130. That would be because there was lots of walking with this little one in the buggy. We did lots of walking, didn't we? And you fell asleep for half an hour. She had half an hour power nap, but now he's wide awake. So yeah, all good. Will I have enough energy for 10 miles tomorrow morning? Let's wait and see. But for now, happy running. Good morning. It's Sunday and I'm out on my early morning, well, early for me, long run. Came out at 6:30 a.m. Oh, I struggle with that because I haven't got John with me today. As you can see, no one around me. So usually John is the person that gets me out nice and early. But one thing I wanted to say about coming out early, and I know some of you, 6:30 is not early, right? Some of you 5:30, 5. I even know Simon is doing the world record attempt actually, on July the 11th. Stay tuned for that. If you haven't sponsored, I'll put the link in the description. My friend Simon is going to do the indoor Guinness World Record for an Ironman, which is epic. I can't remember the stats off the top of my head, but it's running a marathon, rowing 2.8 kilometers, I think, and riding 180 kilometers, something like that. Anyway, it's mammoth. He goes out at 4:30 a.m. Anyhow, the nice thing about it is I've seen 2 people and 2 dogs. I'm sure as I get further into my run, I'm only 1.5 miles in so far. As I get further in, I'll see more people as it gets later. But the weather's also miserable today, but I'm warm. I've got a vest on. I've got my shoulder support thing as well. Makes it look like I've got a bra on. And I've got my little hydration pack. Well, I'm super warm, even though it's windy and drizzly. Anyway, I think this video is going to be a long one. So I'm just going to crack on with this today, and I'll update you at the end of this run with how I got on and where that finishes me for the end of week 2 MAF training. See you soon. So I've just come out of the woods effectively, and we're at just under 5 miles, so not quite halfway. But I've stopped here just because this is where the trail running basically finishes, which has been lovely underfoot. From here on out, I'm gonna be back on the old tarmac. A few country lanes. There is a bit near the end where I can cut across fields and stuff again, but it's going to be predominantly tarmac, and it does make a difference. It feels tougher, definitely, to me. So if you can, run on trails, but go nice and slow because there's lots of trip hazards. You need to be very aware. But anyway, I'm going to crack on. See you at the end. I'm back. 11 miles exactly, just under 12-minute miles. So this week, it's only week 2, and I got a bit excited because I've dropped under 12-minute miles to maintain my heart rate, which is good, but it's only week 2, so I'm not going to get too excited, as I say. But yeah, it was 11:48-minute mile across the whole 11 miles, with an average heart rate of 136. So my target, remember, is 132, but with a 10% overage for having a wrist-based monitor. I think that's fair. 136 I'm really pleased with again. And these are the runs, the long runs are the ones, 2 hours and 9 minutes that was. And this is where this aerobic training really pays dividends on a longer run. The longer you're on your feet in the aerobic zone, obviously the more calories you're burning, which is fantastic, the more fat you're burning, which is awesome, but the more aerobic kind of fitness you're getting as well. Before going onto this Maffetone method, I was just doing 3 times 30 minutes a week, which isn't enough. You need to start building up at least one of your runs to get to a 45 minutes, then to an hour, then to an hour and 15, an hour and 30, and so on, up to 2 hours. And a lot of people do say anything over 2 hours is a wasted effort because you start getting into that injury risk, fatigue risk over 2 hours. The gains are lower than the risks, basically, when you run over 2 hours. The other thing I'd just say to round this off is the last mile was pretty much walking today, because anything over an hour, your heart rate is going to be steadily increasing anyway, because your body needs more oxygen, it needs more fuel, it needs your heart to work harder. So your heart rate is going to keep going up steadily no matter what you do, unless you slow down the pace. Obviously, I'm talking about if you maintain a pace. So anytime I hit a hill, I just couldn't keep my heart rate below 140 unless I walked. And even on the last couple of hills, walking, I was still at 140, 142. So just bear that in mind. If you do get up to an hour and over an hour, it does start to become harder to keep your heart rate lower. So you do need to slow down even more. And if that means walking, then just walk. I've literally, as I say, just walked pretty much the whole of the last mile of this. But I feel great, and it's rounded off a week. I haven't looked at the total, but it's gonna be about 24 miles this week, which is a slight increase on last week, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So happy days and happy running.